Well, if you've been on social media recently, you've definitely seen comments, Instagram posts, or even TikTok videos of people from Myanmar, talking about the coup in Myanmar. And for people that aren't from Myanmar, like myself, it may be difficult to really understand what's happening, or even the extent or the impact of the events in Myanmar. So today, I'm going to talk about that exactly, what's happening and why it matters for the people of Myanmar. Well, if we want to understand what's happening in Myanmar, we'll definitely have to look at its history. And if you're the type to walk away once you hear the word history, just stay with me, because this is really important in understanding what's happening in Myanmar right now. Let's go back to the 1960s. This was a time of severe political factionalism for the country, and it was just worsening living conditions for the people. And so this man, General Ne Win, he thought that he could be the one to save this country, to bring in economic development, better infrastructure, and just a stronger union for the country. And so in 1962, he staged a coup and overthrew the civilian government. And for the next 2 decades, he ruled with an iron fist. There was no tolerance for opposition, and the military grew in power. However, people gradually grew sick and tired of this regime, and in 1988, they went on the streets to protest. Even though there was a lot of violence, bloodshed, people died, but they sort of got what they wanted, sort of, because Ne Win was really put out of power, but the military continued to rule the country, and they rebranded themselves as a council. Mind-blowing. They just changed their name and continued ruling for the next few years. Because in 1990, they allowed for multi-party elections, and this is where the story gets even more mind-blowing. So let's go back slightly a bit, back to 1988. Because in 1988, a key figure in our story returns to Myanmar. Even though she's been out of the country for quite some time, she's no stranger to Myanmar politics. Her name is Aung San Suu Kyi. By 1990, she had formed a new party called the NLD, and she was the Secretary General. When the party won the elections in 1990 by a landslide, she was expected to be the leader of the country. But, well, the military avoided the results. They put many of the NLD leaders under house arrest, including Aung San Suu Kyi, and continued ruling the country for the next 20 years. And it was only in 2010 when Aung San Suu Kyi was released from house arrest, and the party went on to take part in the 2012 and 2015 elections. The 2015 one was a general election, which meant that all the seats were up for grabs. Well, the NLD won by a landslide, and it allowed them to form a democratic government, or at least to a large extent, a democratic one, because the military still held on to several key ministerial positions, and they had a quarter of the seats in parliament. But at least there was progress. There was progress for the country towards an actual democracy.
We were quite restricted about a lot of things, but then last 5 years we have a new government with the Dorsuk and all. So she actually revamped the country very well. I mean, even though we can't say that it's perfect and it's a very good situation right now, we are actually so much better than the previous 5 years. So can say that it was actually quite stable, and we are in the right track. Yeah.